I'm with me, Mr. Chavez.
Start.
Go ahead. You may proceed.
Thank you. AB 1226 is a bill that is dealing with something all of us are always talking about, and that is supporting teachers. I'd like to start off by saying that I am taking the committee's First Amendment dealing with teacher evaluation. Research has continually shown that the most significant factor in a child's education is a quality teacher. Teacher training programs incorporate numerous textbooks to learn about the hands-on training in actual classroom is insufficient, leaving many new teachers unprepared for classroom once they're on their own. When professional development is passively prescribed to teachers, only about 10% are able to implement it in classrooms. Whereas when they are actively coached through it, we see an increase of up to 95%. Professional development should be available to all teachers. Ultimately, we all want what's best for students, regardless of what kind of school they can attend. I am in continual conversation with the charter schools to see if they can come to some agreement to moving forward. I am hopeful for that and making this a component of them. In order to effectively offer our students with appropriate educational foundation, we must provide accurate, continuous opportunities for our teachers to enhance their professional development. The best way in doing so is to offer ongoing coaching mentors to assist teachers' implementation. I have here Ed Voice and it's coming. Okay. Go ahead.
Mike Ambrose on behalf of Students First. To state the obvious, teachers are very important in the classroom. One of the best avenues to increasing teacher quality statewide is to give them the appropriate support and professional development to get better as teachers, to put it simply. I'm a former first grade teacher in Alum Rock and in Ravenswood. Our systemic professional development while I was there was, to say the least, lacking. But one of the things that I found most important to increase sort of my ability to serve my students and what I owed them was getting targeted feedback from observers in my classroom that told me where I had areas for growth and what professional development I could do to get better. I think that's something we owe to all students and to every teacher. It's a support that we don't do well enough, and that the state can really play a role in ensuring that teachers get that. That targeted feedback for teachers under 1226, I think, could be an important step to increasing the quality of professional development for all teachers statewide.
Mr. Chairman, Bill Lucia with that voice. Given the direction of the committee analysis, the recommended amendment, and the author accepting that First Amendment, we would recommend that you consider, rather than creating a ninth priority, including what would be left, which, as I understand it, the first part of the sentence up to the comma be included in the first priority of the 8 state priorities, so that there's a lot of water already under the bridge and work that's being done on LCAP plans and LCAP rubrics and so on and so forth, and putting that issue of staff development up there with teacher assignment and that priority seems like it would be the best insert, if you will, to establishing harmony with what's already there in law, particularly now that you're taking out the component as it relates to something dealing with a corrective action plan with a teacher's evaluation.
Thank you. Any other persons in support? Any in opposition? Seeing none. Oh, we have one.
Isabel Garcia with the California Teachers Association. We had a recommended oppose unless amend at our upcoming state council, and we've worked with the author and we've looked at the committee analysis. And our disagreement was with you were combining the LCAP as a state systems level process for accountability and for professional development, and then you were combining it the bill had individual teacher evaluations, which is a locally determined process. So it commingled those, and that was the reason that we were opposing it. But you are now delinking that. But we want to commend the author for underscoring the importance of professional development. I mean, that is, while it is embedded or implied in state priority 1 and 2, because you can't implement the academic content standards without professional development, and you can't assign teachers without that support at the local level. But for some districts, or maybe at the local level, that's not clear. So when you have it as a 9th priority, that makes it crystal clear that there needs to be access to high-quality professional development for teachers so that they can strengthen their craft, through teacher collaboration and all the ways that we know that also helps retain them and also strengthens and improves student learning. So I wanted to share that we are working with the author. We no longer will be opposing it based on the proposed amendments. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Without any further comments, let me make a comment. Mr.
Please.
Chavez, thank you for removing the evaluation component. I think that's appropriate. I don't think it belonged there. But the comment on the analysis about charters, just where I come from is it seems to me that charters were created to be somewhat of a laboratory. Okay, my comments aren't anti-charter; they're actually pro-child. But what I see a lot when I see a lot of things come through this, dais, is I see almost the public schools are a laboratory because everybody has a different idea with what they should do. And I think, the emphasis of, LCFF was to kind of let school districts, kind of decide how they spend this money, but hold them accountable. And we're still working on that accountability piece. It's still being formulated. But I think that's where that comes from. I see people, again, we got to do this in public school. Well, we got to leave those guys alone. Well, what's good for the goose is good for the gander often, I would argue. So that's kind of where that comes from. But I appreciate your emphasis on professional development. We need stronger induction programs, stronger professional development. They've been gutted. That infrastructure is gone over the last 8 years. Trust me, as someone who was at a school site, I can tell you, PAR, all that stuff, gone. Not funded from the state level due to our budget priorities. We had to keep the doors open, and that's what we focused on. So as we, the budget starts to look a little better, I think we're going to see some rebuilding in that arena. I'm sure we will. Specifically this year, we'll be pushing for it through the budget process and otherwise. So I appreciate, again, your understanding of the need for professional development. That means ongoing. That means ongoing, again, throughout one's career. One should be developing through professional development, et cetera. So I thank you. Any other committee comments? No. Seeing none, do we have a motion? Did we already have a motion?
No.
We already had a motion. The motion was... Okay, the motion was do pass and refer to appropriations. Secretary will call the roll. Oh, you may close. I apologize.
I think in working in this bill, it's been a real pleasure to work with your staff. I've been with them now, I guess, for 3 years. I see a great day coming in education. I see a lot of us are maybe because we're all 12 years members, but we're looking at really making education better for our children. I just came from Sub 2, and 90% of the students that are going to the community colleges are not ready in math or English, and that's because of K through 12. We need to do better, and I think the key to do better is teachers. They're the jewel that we need to reinforce to make it better. And I see that sort of discussion going on, and now technology and all the great things you're doing. So I'm happy to be a part of this. I think this is one bill we're moving forward, and I expect to see many more with that positive view of making California what it should be. So I'd please ask for your aye vote.
Thank you. The motion is do pass as amended to appropriations. Madam Secretary, call the roll.
O'Donnell?
Aye.
O'Donnell, aye. Chavez?
Aye.
Chavez, aye. Kim?
Let's go.
Kim, aye. McCarty? Santiago? Aye. Santiago, aye. Thurmond? Aye. Thurmond, aye. Weber? Aye. Weber, aye. 6-0.
6-0, the bill is out. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
And with that, that was our last bill, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, and we have to get... So I just called this out on final item B? Okay.
We're going to take up the bills that are on call.
Okay, we're going to take up the bills that are on call. File item number 2, AB 302 by Ms. Garcia. The motion was passed as amended to appropriations. The vote was 2-1. The chair was an aye.
Chavez?
Aye.
Chavez, aye. McCarty? Santiago? Aye. Santiago, aye. Thurman? Aye. Thurman, aye.
McCarty's present. He is an aye.
McCarty,
Yeah.
aye. So now that's
File item number 3.
6-1. That bill
Okay, I'm sorry. 6-1, that bill is out. File item number 3, Assembly Member 517 by Mr. Gallagher. The motion was passed to appropriations. The vote was 1-3. The chair was a no on file item number 3.
McCarty? Yes. McCarty, no. Santiago? No. Santiago, no. So it fails. 1-5.
That motion fails 1-5. We'll move on to file item number 11. File item number 11, AB 787 by Mr. Hernandez. The motion was passed as amended to appropriations. The vote was 3-2. The chair was an aye on file item number 11.
Chavez?
No.
Chavez, no. McCarty? Aye. McCarty, aye. Weber? Oh, no, Weber's a no. Okay. So that one's out. 4-3.
4-3. File item number 3 is out. File item number 12, AB 881 by Ms. Garcia. The motion was due pass. The vote was 3-0. The chair was an aye.
Chavez?
Aye.
Chavez, aye. McCarty? Aye. McCarty, aye. Santiago? Aye. Santiago, aye. Thurman? Aye. Thurman, aye. That bill is out now 7-1. I mean 7-0.
That bill is out 7-0. We'll now move on to file item number 17. File item 17. That's AB 1058 by Ms. Baker. The motion was passed as amended to appropriations. The vote was 3-0. The chair's vote was an aye.
Chavez? Aye. Chavez, aye. McCarty? Aye. McCarty, aye. Santiago? Aye. Santiago, aye. Thurman? Aye. Thurman, aye. That's 7-0.
That motion passes with 7-0. The next file items, I have file item 18, AB 1112 by Ms. Lopez. The motion was passed to higher education. That bill passed 3-1. The chair was an aye.
Chavez?
No.
Chavez, no. McCarty? Aye. McCarty, aye. Santiago? Aye. Santiago, aye. That bill is out 5-2.
That bill is out 5-2. The last one we have to take up is file item 19, AB 1126 by Mr. Rennan. The motion is passed as amended to appropriations. The vote was 3-1. The chair's vote was aye on file item 19.
Chavez?
Aye.
Chavez, aye. McCarty? Aye. McCarty, aye. Santiago? Aye. Santiago, aye. Thurman? Aye. Thurman, aye. So that is out 7-0.
That bill is out 7-0.
If,
It's complete, correct?
yeah, if there might be some other add-ons, so if anybody's missed some. You missed 740 while you were gone.
I just got to announce my vote.
I think I got to do.
Yeah, we'll look
523
through
and 122.
740 O'Donnell. Yeah, yeah. So O'Donnell for 740.
Okay, this meeting stands adjourned.